Alrighty, well, howdy there, nerds. I hope you're as excited as I am for this banner tonight because we have, well, a bit to discuss. It's time to take a look at their stats. I'm really hoping for some great things. We also, of course, have the new free character that's coming out. So, are you guys ready to talk about that? Well, alrighty. Before we begin, though, thank you again to our friends over at Game Press for providing all this information as we go over their stats. Check them out in the description, just saying. Alrighty, let's take a look at our characters, shall we? And let me just say, big props to Velouria and Keaton, as you two have seemingly at least boosted the infantry BST. I'm guessing this is probably why you won't be using 10 dragon flowers? I almost said feathers. 10 dragon flowers instead, as opposed to the 5 you're going to be stuck with? I don't know. Either way, Keaton and Velouria seem to have higher BSTs, and this is most likely going to be something that we're going to be seeing in the future. At least from what I can tell. Keaton is rocking a 41 attack naturally with his weapon that automatically doubles. That's gross. That's very, very rude, Keaton. Jesus Christ, that's very, very high of an attack to have attached to that. Also, I just thought I'd throw this out there. He also has a super asset. Is that what we're calling these now? But that means his attack is going to go even higher if you manage to get an asset in it, as well as his defense, which is also quite high at 38. Are you serious right now? Goodness gracious me. But of course, we have to have some trade-offs there. Keaton can't be everything, because, well, his speed is 24, which with his weapon is going to be even less so. And then, of course, he also has 19 res, which is just ever so painful to have for him, and will definitely cause certain blue tome units to probably really just have a field day with him, which kind of sucks for our wolf boy. But hey, let's talk about Velouria, and let me just say, her stat spread is a lot more even than her father's, and well, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I mean, honestly, 35 attack and 37 speed is a good enough stat spread for any sort of unit like this. And that's just not including her weapon as well when it comes to all of these other stats. Goodness gracious me. It's a good enough stat spread is what I'm trying to say. But with 33 defense and 23 res, of course, res being the only downside here, it's lowish, I guess. It's still good enough with everything she's got. To be able to maintain that defensive capabilities is quite nice, especially with 40 health. And I think she'll go places. I think Velouria will definitely be going places. I didn't actually get a chance to see what super assets she has, but we'll get to that, bridge when we can cross it. Now, I guess it's probably time to talk about our Cavalier, Cavalier quotations, horse units here. They're horse units, but they're fox units. My head hurts nonetheless. But whenever I look at Cavalier units and I look at their stats, it's really not too much of a surprise. Not much really sticks out. Not much is really too amazing, usually. And unfortunately, that's kind of the same situation with these characters. But I do want to remind you that their weapons have very unique little tricks here. They also, of course, transform and go even further beyond from here. So just looking at their attack stat here does not necessarily give them or do them justice. I know a lot of people are probably looking at Selkie and seeing 29 attack and just freaking the hell out, but anyways. So, Caden has a really good attack spread at least. 36 speed is pretty nice. 32 attack is not bad either. And of course, he also has a pretty even defensive spread at 25 for both defense and res, which is not too shabby. And, when he's in a Cavalier team or even a Beast Emblem team, he should be able to take advantage of that rather well. And, well, that's all I can really say about that. I mean, that's not bad. Selkie, however, is a little bit different. You can definitely tell that she was born to have that resistance going on with her. 35 is pretty high. The only, of course, cost there is that, well, she has paper-thin defenses at 19. But she does have 38 speed naturally. And while you may be looking at her weapon and, looking at her attack stat and wondering how this is going to work out, it should be just fine, honestly. That speed stat alone is really just quite nice. And with everything she's got, she has a new ability in her B skill slot, as well as a weapon that should, if I recall, work off res as well. So all in all, decent enough package out of these two. It's just really if you decide to go with them. I know a lot of you are fans of Selkie and Caden too, so just the same as I am. So I'm definitely going to be going for them. But let me just say, we do have to talk about our next free unit. That, of course, is the Tagul. God, I'm sorry if I'm going to be butchering not only that, but also her name. Because I've always heard it pronounced several ways. I've heard it said Pan, I've heard it said Panay. So I'm going to go with Pan, just because it sounds a little bit better to me as a whole. Let's go over her skills and what you're going to be getting when you fight her as a character a little bit later, shall we? So, let me just talk about her weapon. Her weapon is pretty simplistic in many ways, but also quite nice. So, as you can see, she is a Cavalier unit, which kinda, that it basically means that she's going to have the BST as, the same as Caden and Selkie, but her weapon works the same function as it would if you were to transform. As long as she's separated or near just beast and dragon units, the same as transforming, she'll gain +3 to every stat. That's what her weapon will do. If she's alone, she'll also get that, but if she's with beast and dragon, same sort of situation. She also, of course, has Astra, and also Chill Speed and Defense Smoke. Defense Smoke is the 4-star, Chill Speed is the 5-star, so those are your options. To me, she seems more like a unit that you're not going to be foddering off too much, at least based on her skills. However, for a free unit, she seems to have a decent enough stat spread that you can make something of that. It's a Cavalier unit, and, well, a free one is pretty nice nonetheless. She also has 30 defense, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty nice for her, as well as maintaining a decent enough res stat. Honestly, I might really try to make something of that, Pan. Like, Jesus Christ, that sounds like a lot of fun. Well, that's pretty much the end for me, guys. I want to know what you think of your new characters here. Are you going for any of them? I'm going for all of them myself. I can't wait to try for them all. But they all look absolutely beautiful, and just, I love the art. I love everything about it, so it's going to be something I'm going for. However, stats are one thing that people do like to see, so as always, put your comments in the comment section below and tell me what you think. For now, though, nerds, catch you later. Bye-bye. Goodness gracious, just look at them all. Oh my god.